Hello guys, welcome to another stream, and it is a non-alcohol day here in Thailand. I'll just say a quick hi to Simon Goodison. Hi Peter, I'm watching from a hotel on Soi 4 Nana again, as there is no alcohol to consume. Well, I hope you did your 7-Eleven bit, did what I did. I go to 7-Eleven before 6, got a stock load, put it in my fridge, so at least I can have a drink after the streams. Right, guys, before we get into anything, bear with me, because do you remember last week I bought an external monitor? It's only a little thing like this, but what it allows me to do is to look at the stream in the back end, all the comments and everything, and then on this monitor I'm watching what you're looking at, basically, because sometimes I get people into the stream who are, they're kind of trolls, and what they do, they say, oh, your picture's freezing, or we can't hear your sound, or something's wrong. So when I get those sort of people in who bullshit and say, oh, the picture's frozen, or we can't hear you, I can just look at this screen and I can see right now it's very, very clear. I'm looking very white. I don't know why, because I've got a little bit of a suntan. Maybe it's the lighting, I don't know. But anyway, you're probably wondering why Marley isn't here. She hasn't been sacked. I'm going to talk about her later, because some people got a bit annoyed last week, and it was my fault, because it didn't go great, I'll be honest with you. And I understand. I took all the comments on board, and I'm going to explain to you later on what's happening, because it wasn't a great stream. She knows that, I know that, but it was basically down to me not briefing her properly, and it was just all haywire. And I made a few mistakes, but she is going to be part of Thailand Bound, and I think she's got a lot to offer, and she will be bringing she's going to be making videos and all that sort of thing. So, and she won't be in every stream, just sort of every other week or something like that, but she has got a lot to offer, and she will be a good I'll talk about it later on, but I'm also going to talk about, you won't believe this, I've been scammed. Yes, I have. Unbelievable. I got scammed. I'll tell you the full story. And the scumbag who scammed me is actually not Thai. He's actually an English guy, a lowlife, a cretin. What else can I say? I'll tell you the full details after this. He's just a total scumbag, but that's something to look forward to a little bit later on. We'll name and shame him, right? Right. Okay, let's start as we always do. We say hi to everybody. Why am I looking so white tonight? I look anemic, don't I? Maybe it's this monitor. Yeah, I don't look too bad on that side. Anyway, right, who's in? Mongas are us. Right, I know who that is, Fake Ed. You've changed your name again. Thank you for all the stuff that you send me. Some of it's interesting. I know I don't always write back to you, but a lot of the stuff I just haven't got the time to go through, mate. You send me like 10-page book or 50-page books. I just can't read them. I haven't got the time, but I do appreciate you sending them. Right. Super nice. Hello, Peter, and hey all. Jim, how are you doing? I've stopped going to that curry place so much, Jim, now, because you know the place I'm always ranting on about, the where the Indian food. But what I've noticed, because when I go there, I tend to have the dal, the bread, and some rice, and I like dipping the bread in the dal. It's very, very tasty. I haven't gone off it. But what I noticed the other day is quite salty, because every time I come from there, I've noticed myself drinking a lot of water, and the doctor's put me on high blood pressure tablets to bring my blood pressure down now. And he said stay away from caffeine, salt, all that sort of done. I've changed my coffee now to no caffeine, and I have stopped putting salt on top of food. If I had a couple of fried eggs, I'd always put a sprinkle of salt on there. I don't do it now. And but I've noticed when I go down there, it's quite salty. So I think I'm going to leave it maybe once every couple of weeks now. I still got to do that video. They've finished their renovation. So yeah, I'll be doing that quite soon. Who else we got in? Jim, Jim, you see, because every time I read your name, I think of that place, because we had a meal there together. John Rainsford, hello, Peter. I've just joined your members. I have to say it's one of the best YouTube channels, I think you're going to say. Well, thanks, John. I get a lot of shit on here. A lot of trolls come in, a lot of haters and stuff. So to get somebody to actually come in and tell me they like the content is like a breath of fresh air. It really is. Right. And I've still not sorted out these anti-glare glasses. I'm aware that when I look straight on, it's a bit annoying, but what can we do? Okay, this little screen's working out quite well at the moment. Oh, the reason I'm trying it again, do you remember what happened last week when I tried it? The picture kept freezing and getting the little white wheel. So what I did, I took my laptop to IT Fortune, and I had the RAM doubled in it, a couple of $1,000 baht. So I had, this is a Dell laptop, very high. It's an iCore 7 processor, so the second top one. Couldn't afford the best, of course, because I'm not rich, but it's a good 16-inch laptop, and I had 16 megabytes of RAM in it. And if you remember, it's running the stream, it's running an external monitor. I was running some videos, and the RAM just couldn't take it. So I took it to IT Fortune Mall, and I had the RAM doubled and they bought my old RAM off me. It was 3,000. They give me 1,000 back for the old RAM. So I've now got 32 megabytes of RAM. So hopefully, if it goes wrong, I'll just pull the cable and I won't use it again. But so far, so good. Right, am I behind again? D and Isan, right. I'm glad you're in DC. I wanted to say something to you, D, and I'm not having a go at you personally. I've noticed when I upload the stories next week, you know, a lot of the time I'll do a little pep talk at the beginning before not a pep talk, that's the wrong word. I'll do an introduction talk. So what I've noticed, and you'll hear me talk about this on the stories next week, I've had one or two people write and say, "Oh, I've heard that story before," or "You pinched that story from him," or and that's not the case. You know, I think there's people now because a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon telling stories. When I started, there was only one other guy doing it. That was Simon from the Land of Smiles, very good storyteller. He did a different style, and I was doing it. I've been doing it for 3.5 years. I don't know anybody else who was doing it, but now everybody's doing it. Everybody's telling stories. You know, I don't know why. But what's happening? I think some people are submitting stories, and what they're doing is they submitted them to multiple channels. So what happens is, you know, I don't check every channel on YouTube. So I'll get an email, I'll edit it, read it out, and then the same guy sent that to another channel, and somebody sees it there first and accuses me of stealing it. Like I had a guy called Klaus. I think his name was spelt with a K, and he actually said to me, he said, "Oh, shame on you, Peter. You know, I've heard this before, assuming that I stole it, and that's really not the case." And the reason I mention you, D, because you made that comment once, not in a horrible way, but all you said was, "Oh, I've heard that somewhere else before," and it's just reminded me. So, yeah, I'll mention that in the stories next week. Right, Fat Tony, afternoon, Peter and Mongers. George, how are you doing? Hi all. I just got my money back from my cancelled flight. Well done to you. Put that up on screen there. 2020. Thai Air booked through eDreams. There is hope, brothers. Right? Yeah, I mean, you know, there's some people lost their money actually. Right, Charlie Stewart, right. Mongers is just going. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Red Pill Denmark, get 'em, Daddy. Charlie, that you're referring to last week, of course. Charlie Stewart, right. Kunrak Chanaka. All right, we're talking Thai now. Javier, how you doing, mate? Hi, Peter. How are you doing? Did you have a nice week? Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Um, I'm gonna try and change the channel a little bit because it was getting a bit stale. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna cut things out, but with the live streams now, I wanted to go out and live stream like we did last week, but everything's closed, you know. And one of the hotels I used to stay in before, the coffee shop was open till 1 in the morning. It's very easy going. Nobody would have said anything to me. I went there to check it out last night. I thought that'll be a good place to stream from, and they're empty, you know, because of COVID. They've changed all the lobby to try and encourage more guests. There was nobody there. It was a shame. It used to be a very lively hotel. There was nobody in reception. And I said to the girl, I said, she said, "Yeah, I remember you." And I said, "Well, what time does the coffee shop close now?" She said 9:30. And I said, 9:30? You used to have a band in there and it used to go until 1 in the morning. You know, what a shame. Let me just say thank you to my first super chat of the night. Where are we? Let me see if I can find him. Now, what is that not showing up? Hang on. Anton, here we go. Anton Carradine, is it? Work in progress. Happy to see your channel, Volscian. Right. Well, thank you, Anton. Much appreciated. I'll get some beers in with that later on. I have got some beers in the fridge. Right. Let's go all the way back. Let's say hi to everyone. Got to say hi to that handsome man there. Look, there's Franco. Mods in the house. One thing though, with this second screen, I'm tempted to keep looking at it, but it's a 10-second delay, as in real time, you know. And I put something up and it's not there. How you doing, Franco? Thanks for joining me tonight. Okay, let's see. Let me go all the way back up here. Let's say hi to everybody I haven't said hi to. You know, a couple of people once said to me, "Oh, you know, I watch your stream, but I hate the first 20 minutes because you just say hello to everybody." And like I've said multiple times, I'm never going to stop that because the whole point of a stream is a bunch of guys getting together and saying hi, right? So if people come in here and leave me a message, I'm not going to ignore them. Of course, I'm going to say hello to them. So, you know, I don't think that guy's watching tonight, but I'm never going to stop doing that. So a little bit of an adjustment here. That's better. Centre me up. I'm very, very particular with all this. Right. Right, Jeremy, how are you doing? Another handsome man there. That's not actually his real picture because I went for lunch with him. If he looked like that, I wouldn't have been able to eat my lunch. Evening, Peter. Hope you're fine and had a great first week with your glamorous assistant. As always, I'm looking forward to the live stream. Well, thanks, Jeremy. It was a bit of a disaster, actually, but she's really good. You know, she's actually a professional. I don't mean she works in Nana. I'm going to talk about her a little bit later on. A couple of hundred people in the stream now. No alcohol is being served in Thailand whatsoever tonight because they don't want people to get pissed up tonight and go and vote tomorrow or Monday, whenever it is. Right, no name. Hello, Connect 4 crew. Yeah, Real Dutch Frank. Hi all. Trip on two wheels. Hello, big fella. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. No name. Welcome to the Marley Hour. Yeah, she's not here this week. Terry Delve. Hello, Peter and everyone. Rob J. 34 days and I fly for 2 weeks in the land of smiles. Can't wait. Thanks for keeping my Thailand dream alive and your channel until I could get back. You know, I'm getting a lot of guys contact me now. They do this one-on-one consultancy thing here. I might as well give it a plug. Hang on. Let me put a banner up while I'm talking about it. Oh, did I do it? Oh, yeah, there we go. There we are. Plug, plug, plug. So I talk to these guys. There's guys who are going out to Thailand. They've never been there before, and they're a bit nervous, some of them, and they just don't want to put their foot in it. So they'll contact me. We'll have a one-on-one session on it like this. It's a stream, private stream, and they ask me a lot of questions and things. And there's a lot of people who have never been here who are going out there, and I think it's just down to the internet, you know, because obviously you know, people watch YouTube videos and they see all these things, and yeah, you know, I mean, I'm doing quite well with these now. Let me just put the exchange rates up there. 42.6 satang to the pound, so that's not too bad. Right, right. Rio Rennie, greetings everybody from a sunny Copacabana. Yeah, nice seeing Alan Fitzy. Hi, Marley's not in tonight, Fitzy. She couldn't. Actually, we decided not to have her in tonight because everywhere's closed. I didn't really want her sitting in my apartment, you know, for obvious reasons. Sean Sedgman, good luck with the stream, Peter and Mark. Well, people remember Marley, at least they're saying hi to her. Innovations, good morning to all. Been working Saturday, so I haven't been able to participate except to say hello. Yeah. Vinny Vekatram, I always get your name wrong, don't I? Let me put that up there. Good to see you. No name, hope you're doing well. Manuel, how do I say that? Manuel Eleo. Hello, everyone. Yeah, Alan Fitzy. Watch out for the fashion police. That wasn't a joke. If you watch the stories today, I said at the beginning of the stories, there was a guy who had a go at me because he thought my shirt was a bit big, you know, and he said, "Oh, I just can't watch this. It's ridiculous. You need to get clothes that fit you." And I'm like, "What the heck is this guy on?" Right, okay. Clong Andy, where is Molly? She's under the desk. Get down, girl. Get down. No, she's not. That's why I won't bring her to the apartment. It's too tempting. You know what I mean? Right. Right, Toby Price, election tomorrow, yeah. Soapy sandwich. Maybe the screen is frozen for the trolls. Yeah, maybe. Mr. Superstar, evening, hi. Charles Saunders, hi. Richard Woolley, hello, Peter. Mara, laugh out loud. Right, let's put this one up. Manuel, one question. Are you familiar with a result called Angels in Paradise? It's in Patti. You pay 3,000 US dollars and there are ladies available. You mean 3,000 baht or 3,000 US dollars? Are you familiar with a result called? Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Drop me an email. Tell me what it's all about. Bottle baby, hi. I haven't seen you. I think I have seen you in for last week, but I keep saying I haven't seen you for a while. David Gray, Sawadee Krap. Max, how you doing? Charles Saunders, hello to the moderator. Damien's not here today. He goes shopping on a Saturday, and it's a bit early for him this one. It might be in later for the members stream. You know, I've had so many complaints about the member stream. One guy wrote to me and he said, "Oh, you know, you're sold up, and it's almost like being in the aircraft when they pull the curtain across, and you're not allowed to look into business." And it's really not about that, you know. It's really not about that. Paddle Crab, good day all. Frank Travels, hello, Peter and everyone. Hello, Frank Travels. Joel Durr, Archie Luxury Channel has been praising you. Yeah, I've seen that. I've never heard of the guy before. There's a YouTube guy. He's got quite a few subscribers, actually, about 70,000 subscribers. He's got more than me, actually. But I gather from what he does, he calls himself Archie Luxury. Great name, isn't it? And he does, I think it's all to do with watches, Rolexes, and the high life, basically. I want to watch one or two of his videos. I just haven't had time. And somebody sent me a similar message to you did. And I thought, oh, I've never heard of him. I went on, and he actually made a whole video, about a 15-minute video, about that video that I made that was nearly an hour long, where I sort of poured out my heart and told you about moving to Thailand full time. And yeah, very complimentary. You know, when somebody does that, you tend to think, well, yeah, that's a feather in my hat. I mean, it's good. And then I had a guy from the Tiger contact me. I might possibly be invited on there in the future, but they're going through a lot of changes as well. I enjoyed the interview with Tim Newton that I did. He's quite a down to earth person. Right, soapy sandwich. Right. The scumbag who scammed me sounds like a poem by Fake Ed. Yeah, I was scammed. If you've just come into the stream, I was totally royally scammed by a scumbag who I'm not gonna, I'll give you plenty of clues who he is. I better not name him outright just because of YouTube and everything. He'll probably whine to YouTube and go crying and saying, look what this guy's doing to me. Real low life, I can't believe what he's done. Um, Hi Peter, you handsome man. Have a great show. Thank you. Pierre. Hey Peter, sorry that you got scammed. I appreciate the email this week. Also, glad to catch the live stream. Do you plan to meet? Do you plan to meet with Bangkok Pat again soon? He seems to be a good guy. I met him last week, but unfortunately, I'll be honest with you, right? I met him and we tried to do some footage together, right? And the problem is he's a very introvert sort of person, and he puts a lot of effort into his videos. He goes out there and he spends all day, he'll spend several days, he does a lot of research, and it didn't quite work out because when we did the interviews, that was okay. Last year I interviewed him, he interviewed me. We went out together and we attempted to do some filming together. He called me up at night. So the way we did it is we went out and we did the same video, but he filmed his and I filmed mine. And I said, I'm with Bangkok Pat. And he said, I'm with Peter. So when he spoke, I kept quiet. And when I spoke, he kept quiet. But I got home and I looked at the footage and I thought, it just doesn't look right. And I was just thinking about it. And I got a call from Pat and he said, I can't use this. He said, it's just not come out right. And I said, it's funny you should say that. And you know what, just to cut a long story short, we just decided to do our own thing because as much as people say it's great to work together, it is if it comes out right. But it just didn't. And I think Pat's one of those sort of guys, he prefers to work alone. I understand why. It's nothing against me. It's just that's how he is. And so unfortunately that project didn't come out. But the good news is I have done that video now and I'm going to release it. I might release it tonight or no, I'll release it in the morning, my morning, which will be your middle of the night if you're in the UK. And what I've done is, if you've watched the Netflix series called The Serpent about Charles Sabraj, he was a serial killer. Uh, for a while, he was based in Bangkok. He's married to Marie Leclerc. Not married, sorry. His girlfriend was Marie Leclerc, and he had a sidekick, an Indian national by the name of I think his name was RJ something or other. Okay, and they used to drug people, and they ended up killing them and stealing their passports and money. Another low life actually. And there was an 8-part series on Netflix. Well, where they filmed that, the locations were quite close to here. So I went to the apartment. When they're in the swimming pool scene and he's looking over the balcony and everything. I couldn't actually get into the balcony because there's Thai people living there, right? It's a proper apartment, and as soon as they finished filming, people moved in, and you can see from the footage that there's washing on the balconies, there's towels on the light, and everything. But I did give the guard a little trip, and I managed to get in there. And when the serpent, he parked his car and they dragged what was the name of the guy, the French guy who got away. So I managed to film all that, the empty swimming pool, and I've put in some still shots. So I've taken stills from the actual series and I've matched them up. So you'll look at something on the series and then I take that away and I put a picture. So what I also filmed, I actually found out where he actually lived, the real serpent here in Bangkok. It was down near Pat Pong, just off Silom, just off Silom. And his apartment, it was a place called Kennett House. It was knocked down in 1994, and there's a newer apartment building called The Legend there now. So I went down and filmed that location. I also filmed some of the filming locations around Bangkok because they use some of the hotels haven't been upgraded for years, and you don't know about them. You just don't go into them, okay? But those hotels exist quite close by, and I went in and I filmed the insides, and you'll recognize some of the interiors. So I've put that all together, and I'm going to release that tomorrow. So that's a video. It's only about 15 minutes long, but it's quite interesting, and it gives you the real facts about Sabraj and his cronies. Okay, that's tomorrow. It's already been released for the members. That's one of the things about being a member. I release the videos 3 or 4 days earlier before I release them to everybody else. But I'll release it to everybody tomorrow. Right, and let me just say thank you to a couple of people. Right, Jeff Say, you're a star, mate. You do it every week. Something towards the beverage fund. Okay, well, I can't buy anything tonight, that's for sure. We're all dry here in Thailand, but thanks for the super chat. And we got a new member there. Who's that? Let me have a look. John Rainsford, new member. Good to have you with us, John. Okay. Nearly 250, and I'll tell you how. What should we talk about first, Marley or how I got scammed? Come on, we'll start voting now. Give me, what do you want to hear first, Marley, the story about Marley, what we're doing, or do you want to hear about how I got scammed? Give me some feedback here, and I'll go with whichever one's popular. Innovations. Good morning to all. Been working Saturday, so haven't been able to. All right, I'm way back there. Okay, Rumble. Hi Peter, how you doing? Nick T, afternoon all. How you doing, Nick? Dingle, you getting aerobics, Peter? Gentleman never talks, I'm afraid. Real Rennie, come to Real Peter. We'll get you a nice tan in a couple of days. I go up on the roof every day now. I've made it a mission of mine now because a lot of time I'm working on the PC, and we've got a great pool on the roof here. I think it's about 24 meters. So what's that? 72 feet. And I do lengths. I'm not like an Olympic swinger. I only do like 8 lengths, or no, I did 10 today. But because it's a long pool, you do get a little bit of a workout. So I do it for about half an hour, and I think I'm getting stronger now because I was able to do one lap, and I didn't have to rest, and I came straight back again. I know it's pathetic, but I am making the effort. But the point is, it's so hot up there. It gets there's no one up there all day, and you get a few people up there about 6 o'clock when it's very the sun's going down, and but I love the heat. I know they say the UV rays are dangerous, but it's like you're up there and you're sweating like a rapist. It's like really, really hot, and I love it. And then when you jump into the pool, it's like warm. The water's warm. Not like in the UK. You go swimming, jump in the water, and your nuts go up inside your body because it's so cold. Okay, right. Check bound. Hello, Peter and everyone. Finally making a Saturday stream. Great to see your new channel Sidekick the other day in the video, and you mentioned you have a new. Okay, right. I won't mention that here. I mentioned that in the members area. So I was just right. Welsh 32, week and a half. I'll be in Pattaya. Yeah. Soapy sandwich. I didn't see anything wrong with Marley though. Both streams were quite good. Well, I made a few. She didn't do anything wrong. I did the wrong, and I'll talk about it. Let me just see if there's any votes come in. Scam from Putmaster. Paul Hoskins, I'm really good at the. All right, yeah. George, don't vote more than once. Who got scammed? Marley, scam. Okay, let me tell you about the scam. Right, it's unbelievable, really, and I'm a bit upset about it because it's not the money. It's not the money at all. It was a couple of £100. If the guy had turned around to me and said, "Look, I'm having a hard time. Can I pay you back 25, 50 quid a month?" I'd have said yes. Or if he'd just been honest with me, I'd have been fine. So let me tell you the story. Very disappointing, but I used to think of him as a friend. I think of him as when you stand in something in the street and it won't come off the bottom of his shoe. That's actually how I think about him now. I really do. So disappointed with the guy. So this is a guy I met online, okay? Total stranger, like I meet a lot of people online. And it was when I was in the UK, and we had some things in common, and we got talking. One night I phoned him while I was out with Benji the dog, and we had a really nice conversation. I got into the habit, he'd call me, I'd call him. So we were talking for quite a while, and we'd become very kind of, I wouldn't say close, that's the wrong word, but we'd become very pally, friendly. And he was like, "Well, I'm coming out to Pattaya on this day." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'll be out there. Let's meet up." And, we did some other things together. And so he came out to Pattaya, and I was with him for about a month. I don't mean day and night holding his hand, but he was there for he was there for a week. Then he went off for a week. Then he come back for another week because he's a bit of he's one of these guys. He goes on a shoestring budget. Okay, he budgets to the penny near enough. He doesn't take any extra cash. He doesn't allow for emergencies, and that's what tripped him up this time. So he was in Pattaya. I was in Pattaya. Now we'd already known each other for about a year now, and anyway, he went to India. When he came out here, I came direct to Thailand, and then I go back direct to the UK. That's how I roll basically. But he's one of these guys. He did India and some other place, and he went to about 5 countries. He did the Middle East, and he's good backpacking, and he's not spending a lot of money. Really tight. Anyway. He was in India, and there were some kids throwing water balloons at foreigners. They were just kids, right? But the water's absolutely filthy, right? So what happened? Once some kid threw a water balloon at him, and it exploded on his chest. Okay, and this water went up his nose, in his eyes, everything. And He came to Bangkok. He had about a week to go, and he got seriously ill, very ill, and he didn't budget for medical emergencies. He didn't have any travel insurance, and he went to one of the local hospitals here. He had to pay to see the doctor, get a load of tests. He got put on antibiotics, and he basically ran out of money. And I was talking to him, and he was in a pretty bad way, but he was going to go to hospital when he went back to the UK, and he had about 100 baht to his name, so he had about 3 days left to go. He'd done all his money in because you have to pay for treatment here. Okay, so bear in mind this is a guy I've known for a year, right? So I considered him a friend. Okay, and so I called him up and I said, how you doing? He's like, oh, I was really ill. I'm still ill. I have to go to hospital when I get back to the UK. And I'm like, well, they'll sort it out when you're going back. And he was like, well, I'm there in 4 days, but I'm going via India and the Middle East and about 4 countries, somewhere in Europe before he actually touched down in England, right? That's just how he goes. So I said, well, are you all right for money? He's like, well, he said, I forget how much he said he had, but he had another 4 days to go. He didn't even have money for food. All he had was his taxi fare. No, not even a taxi. It was a train up to the airport, which would have cost him about, I don't know, 50 baht. And 100 baht spare, and he would have been living off noodles from 7-Eleven, right? So I considered the guy a friend. I said, look, are you financially strapped? And he's like, well, and he didn't ask me, and I just, look, I'll tell you what, um, you know, let me help you out, right? So he said, well, could you spare a couple of £100? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can. It was in his bank within 5 minutes, right? So that's what friends do for each other, right? You get in trouble, you help your friend out. Hang on, I'm roasting here. Um, so I sent him the £200. He was grateful, or he appeared to be grateful. So he had 4 days to go. So he had 8,000 baht. So all of a sudden, he's got 2,000 baht a day. Well, that's a good budget if you're just sort of getting by before you go home. And he says, "Yeah, thanks very much. I'll sort that out when I get back to the UK." So he gets back to the UK. A few weeks go by. I haven't had any money back from him. So I sent him a text and I said, "Have you forgotten something?" And he said, "No, no. I get paid on the. This was about the 20th of the month, right?" He said, "I get paid on the 3rd of the month." He says, "As soon as I get paid, I'll send it straight over." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. No problem." So the 3rd of the month comes this month, right? The 7th of the month comes, the 8th of the month comes, and I still haven't got any money, right? So I text him and I said, do you want my bank account? He writes back and says, that'll be handy. Now, he never made any effort to contact me and say, listen, I really appreciate what you did for me in Bangkok. What's your bank account? I want to get that money over to you. It was me doing the chasing, right? So this is the sort of guy he is, right? Low life, like I said to you. So anyway, he said, yeah. So I sent my bank account details and he sends me a text and he says, I'll get that over to you tomorrow. Well, that was about 5 days ago. So I texted him and I said, look, I haven't got any money in my bank. What's going on? And I waited for a reply and I waited for a reply and I sent about 3 messages and the 2 ticks were there, but they hadn't gone blue. So this is WhatsApp, right? So what this means is the messages were received on his phone, but he hasn't looked at them because he doesn't want me to know. This is how low lifes work. This is how they operate, right? Scammers. He is a scammer, basically. I'll tell you a little bit more about the guy. But so what he's purposely done, he knows I've sent him a message, but he's not looking at his messages because he doesn't want me to know that I've seen his messages, right? So I thought, well, that's really weird. And I thought, well, don't jump the gun, Peter. The guy might have gone to hospital. He might be sick. Don't don't jump to any conclusions. Let's see what's going on first with the guy. So he'd uploaded a video, right? He's got a YouTube channel, but it's a real small one, just a few hundred subscribers. And I'd helped him promote it a little bit in the old days. He hasn't got many he hasn't got many subscribers. But I went on there just to see if there was any movement on there, because if he was in the hospital, there wouldn't have been anything. Well, he'd uploaded a video like 3 days ago. And when you're new to YouTube and you get comments on your video, you answer every single one because you only get 2 or 3 people, if you're lucky, leave comments. Like if I upload a comment now, I'll get 40, 50 comments on the video, each video, right? But when you're new and you've got like 200 people or 400 people, whatever it is, you'll get 2, 3 people leave comments, and you always make sure you actually write every one of them a reply. That's what you do. So I see that he'd uploaded a video and I thought, well, that's strange. I'll leave a comment. So I left a comment. I said, great video. Hope to see more. That's it. And there were 2 other guys left comments and he hadn't reacted to any of the comments, right? I went in the next day and he'd answered the other 2 people, right? He hadn't even hearted my comment and he hadn't even responded to me, right? Totally blanked me, switched off. So I sent him an email yesterday, and I basically said, "You're a cheap bastard," right? And I slagged him off in the email. I didn't expect an answer, and that's how he ripped me off. But I was so amazed because this is a guy who was seriously ill here in Bangkok. He had nobody to turn to, no family. They wouldn't lend him anything. They probably know him for what he is, right? So he couldn't get any money. He got some money from. He managed to con his boss and get some an advance on his salary, and he'd done that in as well. And there was no one who could help him. And out of the goodness of my heart, thinking he was a friend, I lent him the 200, thinking, he'll send it back to me. So lesson learned. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the guy's just a dirtbag. And you know what's really funny? He used to be, well, say used to be. He's uploading one or two videos at the moment, and he's doing. He's telling about his former life. He used to be a criminal, right? Apparently, he's not now, but he keeps using the word "used to be." Well, I was watching his video and said, "Well, when I used to be a criminal in London," I'm thinking, "Mate, you're a criminal now. You're stealing off me. You're a scammer. You're a lowlife. You're a scumbag." So the thing is, I'm not going to make any threats here. I'm not going to say anything that I'll regret. All I'll say is, I know where he lives. I know where he works. Okay. And for the sake of £200, like I say, I helped the guy out the shit, and that's what he's done. So that's the story of how I got scammed. You can make your own minds up. Some of you might think I deserve it for lending him the money, but, we'll see. We'll see. But that isn't the end of the story. I promise you. Okay. Let's get back into some of these comments. Okay, where did we leave off? Martin Ryder, I think I know who you mean. Well, I hope you know who I mean. I just don't want to name him out right here. Nick T, people guessing who it is. Yeah. Nick S. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, everybody knows who it is. Total loser. I mean, who does that to a friend for two? I mean, if it was a couple of £1,000, you understand, don't you? But 200 quid, and the guy's working. He comes out with about £1,300 a month. He lives in the accommodate. He's got accommodation provided. He's got virtually no expensive, and he rips me off. What a whack. You know what I want to say. Right, Richard Woolley, I did a month in Pattaya. Being back a week now, the pollution in the air is really bad still. Okay. It's actually cleared up quite a bit because we're getting into the rainy season now, and we've had rain every day this week. And of course, that helps clear it away, doesn't it? Fat Tony, what a joker. Yeah, he would be if he was funny, but he isn't funny. Martin Ryder, he didn't come across like the type who would double cross you. Yeah, so you all know who I'm talking about. But this is the thing with con men. He's obviously a con man, and he conned me. Okay, I'll leave that up there. I won't say anything. He does, Martin. But the thing is, what it is, if I tell you what his channel is, everybody will go off and watch it, and then in a roundabout way, I'm helping him, aren't I? Because I'm sending traffic over to him, and I don't really want to do that. You know. He's the sort of guy who'd sell his mum's TV set when she's not around, just to get a few extra bucks. Soapy Sandwich, did you blow the money you lent him on Ladyboys? No, I didn't, because I didn't have it. I gave it to him, didn't I? And if I did, would you worry about it? Right, Rumble. Well, very disappointed, Peter. I thought he was a good friend. Yeah, which is why I lent him the money. I'm going to move on from this in a bit. I'll just read out a few more comments because I don't, otherwise he's taking over the stream, isn't he? Fat Tony, maybe he is collecting for his book royalty. Well, that's another thing. He's the sort of guy who would try and justify it. So I owe him about £20, okay? And he's the sort of guy who'd say, "Oh, well, yeah, I didn't steal it off you. I kept it." Well, you don't do it. You don't work like that, do you? What you do is you sit down together and say, "Right, well, I owe you £200. You owe me this much for that. It's 20 quid. So, okay. So I'll send you back 180 quid and everyone's happy." You don't just not send a guy money, do you? Especially when it was a loan. Brian, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, Martin, absolutely. And he uses the word used to a lot, like it's something he doesn't do anymore. Paul Hoskins says, everyone thinks they can't be scammed until you get scammed. Well, honestly, I thought he was a friend. I let my guard down, and that's what I do with my friends. If they get in trouble, I help them, like you do with your friends. Yeah, like I said, Alan, it's not about the money. It's you only give money you can afford to lose. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not going to break my bank. It's not like he stopped me from eating or I can't pay my electric bill. It's nothing to do with that. I'm just totally disappointed that the guy's willing to give up a friendship for £200, And he was really weird in Pattaya. I can't get into nitty-gritty details, but he was really weird. Everything I was sort of doing, he was kind of trying to take over. Right, Brian, what's the average price of rent for a small studio in Bangkok? There isn't really an average, Brian, because it depends where you live. I mean, where I live, I'm paying 20,000 baht a month for this. you'll get the same place for 10,000 baht if you live 30 miles on the outskirts of Bangkok. But the thing is, I've got a real nice swimming pool. I've got the BTS very, very close to me. There's a lot of bars and restaurants close by, but it's quiet at this end. And I'm paying for location, and I've got a real nice apartment. I've got good security here, cameras everywhere, a couple of security guards on the front door, parking. But I mean, let's have a look. So the average price, okay. I mean, Bangkok's quite expensive. So when you say studio, you're talking about one room. You'll get a room for under 20,000 baht, 15,000 baht maybe. Um, right, right, Mara. Why throw away 12 to 15 months of friendship with a decent guy? Exactly. Uh, Martin Ryder says £200 and his channel is now wrecked. Yeah. Um, Fat Tony says, send the boys round. Well, the thing is, I could actually, but let's not go down that road. What goes around comes around. He'll get his comeuppance one day. Oh, definitely, 100%. I guarantee you that. Nick S, if someone doesn't pay you back, you don't lose your money. You pay £200 to never have to deal with him again. Yeah, and I'm glad it's good it worked out like that, because although I lost £200, I'm not going to be hanging around with a scumbag that somebody I think's okay, right? Ben Lino says, yeah, a bit extreme for £200. Yeah. He's the sort of guy that done it for 20 quid. I've had this before. I remember years ago, I was in India working in a hotel, and I met a guy, and I became good friends with him. And he had a business, and apparently so. And he said to me, "Oh, look, I couldn't get to the bank, or there's a problem with the car. Could you lend me $500? It's just for tips and taxis and stuff." And he was a good friend. I thought, yeah, okay, then. Never spoke to me again. Never seen him. He left the hotel, and that was the end of it. Um, Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been a grand, but on the other hand, it wouldn't have been so bad because I thought, well, he's called me out of a grand, but for £200, ST Billow, I know who he is. He's a bell end. Yeah, he is. He's a bit more than a bell end, actually. Right, Manuel. No way he used. Okay. Um, right, Rizzo says, give us his name, his phone number, and his address. Contact me later. Darren Drew, I would have done the same, Peter. You don't expect friends to rip you off. Kelly Harnett, when I lend to dodgy friends, I was half or better what they asked for. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If a friend, if a friend of mine asked me for 200 quid tomorrow, I'd give him it. I wouldn't stop giving it because of this arsehole. But anyway, let's move on. Let's not talk about it anymore. David, I'm not gonna mention his YouTube channel for the reason I mentioned earlier. I don't want to promote the guy. I'll just be sending traffic to him, which he doesn't deserve. Evening, Craig. How are you? Christopher Doyle, number 2 volume. Then, all right. Checkbound. Sorry that you were scammed. No good deeds. Yeah, but the funny thing is on here, I'm always talking about be wary about being scammed, and we talk about Thailand. But at the end of the day, it was an English guy, and I've said this before. When you come here, people talk about being scammed by the Thais, and the biggest danger here isn't that aircon's giving me an itchy hooter. The biggest danger here isn't the Thais, it's the foreigners. They come from your country. They'll, oh, I'll take you under my wing. Your first time here, I'll look after you. They're the guys who are out to shaft you. Right. Right, Phil T says, evening, Peter. In my eyes, you did the honourable thing. The shame is his. Yeah, thank you. Carl Willard, wow, scammed when you helped someone. Charles Saunders, yeah, you're all kind of thinking along the same lines. Charles Saunders, Peter, what goes around comes around. If you do bad, bad comes to you. If you do good, you'll be kind. Yeah, absolutely. Cowboy Vic episodes. Being helpful and generous to others can never end in Thailand. Yeah. Okay, right. Who's this? Let's change the subject. Wifey in New Jersey, visiting sister. Me in Saigon watching Peter in Bangkok. Ultimate reality TV. Okay, well, good to have you in the stream tonight. Good to have you in the stream. Like I said, I did want to go out and about today, but everywhere's closed. You know what? It's actually quite hard to find somewhere to live stream from here in Bangkok, because you think about it. Right, I'm in the Sukhumvit area, and I have tried going down to Asia Teak with the signal was crap, and I was with Marley last week, and we were thinking, well, where can we go and film? Now, the problem is, yeah, you can go up to rooftop bars, but you're talking 300, 400 baht a pop for a drink. So if I sit there with Marley and we have one drink, I'm paying, right? That's like 600 to 800 baht. Now, we're going to be there for 3 hours, right? There's an hour and a half here, and then there's about an hour and a quarter for the member stream and a 15-minute break. Well, they're not going to let us sit there with a bottle of water. So those sort of rooftop bars are out the question. there's even, you can sit on Sukhumvit. They have little pop-up bars, but people, people can be arseholes and come up to you and start. I've had it before where I was out on doing a stream and someone come up and "Bleh," in the camera, a total arsehole. And then you think about hotel lobbies, but you walk in and they're very echoey, and it's really hard. And last week I thought Nana Hotel, it's quiet. There was no alcohol last week, and we did it from the Nana Hotel lobby, which was okay. We bought a few bottles of water, but there was a guy, n- I'd say 45% into the stream, an American guy with his wife came in, and he started talking to me while I was streaming. I was like, "Yeah, okay, thanks, cheers. I'm just on a live stream, right? What would you say if someone says you're on a live stream? You stop talking to them, right?" But he kept talking to me he hadn't heard me. And I kept saying to him, "Yeah, okay, I'm on a live stream," and I'm on a, and it was just like over the top of his head. I mean, you don't do that when somebody's on a live stream. You let them get on with it, and if you want to talk to them, you wait until it's over. At least if you say hello quickly, and the guy says I'm on a live stream, you don't carry on talking, do you? But that's what happened last week. Right, right. Google user, please tell us about Marley. I will, but let's have a little break first. Talk about some other stuff. Um, Terry Dove, I've seen him on other streams. Um, Yeah, absolutely, Carl. Absolutely. I agree with that comment. Uh, right, Bamboo. Hello, Peter. Hope Fashion Police hasn't bothered you this week. Not the Fashion Police this week. It was the people no, it's the people who are accusing me now of stealing stories from other channels. Right. Trip on two wheels. I just commented a reminder on his latest video. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. You went there and you left a comment like pay me back. Brilliant. I'm gonna have a look at that later. Right, Capio, Shane Peter isn't on the beer. He'd tell us who it is. Yeah, I can't do the beer right now, Capio, because what it is, I don't. Although I drink most days, I don't have a really high tolerance for alcohol. And if I'm doing 3 hours, right? If I started drinking, I'd be pissed by the end of the 3 hour stream. And I mean, in England, that kind of worked because I was much more relaxed. I was doing a lot of competitions and TV adverts and stuff, but I'm trying to get away from all that stuff now, like the Manga Minute and the Ladyboy competition, because they're just so time consuming and I want to get out there and make videos. And this includes Marley, some of the stuff we're going to do this week. And you can't do it because to do those little competitions, they take hours and hours. And you should be out there filming. Um, but no, I won't drink. I might start drinking beer on the member stream later on. Right. Right, Scott Burney. Hi, Peter. Always enjoy the streams. Thanks, Scott. Very kind of you to say so. Daniel Charles, Karma. Let's hope. Yeah. Yeah, Rizzo won't be. Yeah, okay, I'm going to try and get away from this now. Bottle Baby got his channel 336. So yeah, well, if you have, go to his channel and tell him to pay me back my 200 quid, will you? Terry Dwell, Peter, when you left the UK, was there anything that you couldn't part with and leave behind? I'm having that problem myself. Let me put that up. That's a good question. Right, Peter, when you left the UK, was there anything that you couldn't part with and leave behind? One thing. Uh, Okay, obviously my children, but the one thing was my dog Benji. I've had him for years, and I got him from a rescue home, and I was going through a lot of stress, and I'm not going to drag up old dirt, but for a year or two, because of what was going on with my family, I was going through a lot of stress, and it was just awful. And the one thing that kind of saved me was I used to take him out at night, so had to have a really bad, stressful day, and then I'd have dinner about 6, 7 o'clock. I'd take him out, and we'd just go walking for an hour or so. I'd put some headphones on. Sometimes I spoke to Damon or Franco or somebody else, and but he was always by my side. And he's the one thing. He's like, my daughter sends me pictures. They're looking after him. They do take him out for walks and they feed him and everything. But he's brown, but his face is completely white hair now because he's old. I don't think he's got long. But in answer to your question, that's about the only thing I miss, other than my kids. But my kids are coming out here towards the end of the year. Already paid their air tickets and everything. Right. Okay. Alan Fitzy, thank you for that. Um, yeah, Rublu, the Monga minute's finished, mate. It's done its bit. I did 30 of them, and that's it now. No more Monga minutes. Guys, let me just try and sort this aircon out. Right, it seems to have. Right, now I've turned it off. Let me turn it on again. Is it on? It says it's on. It's really weird because it says it's on, but it's not coming on. Let me try again. It goes off really easy, but it doesn't. All right, okay. I've got to listen to it, see if it's on. Right, it's on. Oh, I get hot and sweat. Look, I'm sweating. Look. Right. Paul Hoskins, is Bangkok doing anything about the air? What can they do really? I mean, they can go into all these emissions and all the rest of it. But once the rain's here, that will help a lot. Um, yeah, Scott Burney says I always enjoy the Monga minutes. Shame I might run them again from the start, but some of them I'm a little bit. The early 10, the first 10 I did were pretty shit really. So I don't know. I'm Nick. I'm not going to say his name on here. Uh, Right. SMZen, what happens to an upload or a channel if a vid receives 300 thumbs down? Nothing. They're just, it just looks like they're not popular. David, right, I'll get into that in a minute. Where is Marley, Peter? She should be here today as promised. Well, I didn't promise. I said she'll be here, but there is a legit reason for her not being here. We haven't fallen out or anything like that. I want to talk about the whole thing with Marley, because she came on, I screwed up, and we had a meeting in Terminal 21 yesterday, and we laid it out, and she knows exactly what she's doing now, and I know exactly what she's doing. And a lot of guys got annoyed because I was talking and she cut in all the time, and it annoyed a lot of people. I spoke to Damien yesterday. He said he got pretty cheesed off, but it wasn't her fault, right? Because she was doing what she thought she had to do, and it was all wrong. But let me get through saying hello to everybody else and what everybody's saying, and then I'll tell you. We'll have a little talk about Marley because she's a really nice girl and she's professional at what she does. She does a lot of shows and stuff. Um, right, thank you, Martin Ryder, for that. VVV, I'm not mentioning names. She came here to play Connect Four. Right, I'll tell you what, I can't resist it. I was going to do this afterwards, right? I'm just going to go on his channel and see what you have all been writing. Give me a minute. I mean, that would freak me out, basically. Let me just pause the sound. Oh, right. Got a few. Yeah, Pup Master one, brilliant. Martin Ryder, yeah, see that. Trip on two wheels, see that, yeah. Two so far. Be nice if a few more went up there. Right, okay. Right. Capio. Quiz a clue, Martin. I'll delete it. Okay. Oh, gives a clue, I'll delete it. I'm not really. Ben, you're saying when are you bringing mongers into the stream? How do you bring mongers into the stream? Do you mean interviewing people? I like to interview intelligent people. Like when I interviewed, I'm not saying mongers aren't intelligent, but I like to do interviews with people like Tim Newton. That was a great interview. Capio, drop me an email later and I'll tell you who he is. Right, look, there's my email address. Bear with me. There. Okay, you can pause that and rewind it later, but if you drop me an email, I'll tell you who it is. I just don't want to put it in a public forum here, but I think most people know. Yeah, absolutely, D. Thank you for that. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Yeah. You see that hotel behind me there, the center point? Marley and I went in there last night to check it out to see if it's somewhere we could film from. It's the only hotel I've ever been challenged where somebody said, "Oh, yeah, can I help you?" sort of thing. Like, should you be here? I just said, "I'm looking for a friend," and we walked out again. El Terrifico, hi, good to have you in. Fat Tony, leave a comment. The Gormless twit, how scammed. I'm not going to go through it again. I've already explained. You'll have to rewind. Capio, yeah, you do that. I'll make a stream demanding the money back. That should fire him up. Yeah. People have to hang on. Yeah, people have to realize it was your first dual streamer, Marley. I bet Ant and Deck weren't great at the start of their careers. Well, funny enough, talking about Ant and Deck, I seen a video of them when they were about 12 years old, and they did a kind of a rap on a talent show. It was pretty crap actually, but like you say, it was their first one. Paul Harrison. You'll say it right. Hi, Peter. Just got here. Has the weather broken in Bangkok? Yeah, we're into the rainy season now. It's pretty much rained every day for the last few days. Yesterday, it rained at night about 10 o'clock, but it hammered it down, but that's fine. I don't go out very much these days, I mean, I make the most of the daytime. I go out early evening, but I'm not, I'm definitely not in go-go bars late at night and stuff like that. And then it rained the other day. I woke up. When was that? That was last night. What was yesterday? Yesterday was Friday, and then Thursday it was in the morning. It just hammered it down. Absolutely. When it rains here, it's like not a little shower. It's like shower. Um, Right, Franco says, Vinny gifted 5 people memberships. All right, Vinny, thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. And I'm sure the people you gifted the memberships to will be thinking, how come I've got a membership? Um, I had a guy write to me recently. He said, oh, I'm unsubscribing from a membership. You don't get nothing for it. And I'm like, well, you know what? It's like a fiver a month, and you get to see the videos a lot earlier than everybody else. And we've got a member stream, and I'm going to be elaborating on stuff. I mean, what does he expect for a fiver? Did he think I was going to come on and do a trapeze act or something, naked in my skiddies? I don't know. Right. Um, okay. Capio says you actually know more about the technical stuff here than me. Capio says gifted members don't show up on StreamYard, so Peter won't have seen it. Okay. Yeah. All right. I didn't know that. StreamYard's a good bit of kit, but it has got its limitations. Like when you do the member stream, you can't see how many people are in the stream. You can hear, I can see right now, I was going to say 308, 2 people have just left, so 306. But on the member stream, I don't know, I could have 2 people in there, I could have 200 people in there. Right, Stephen James. Is it true that the bigger the cushion, the better the pushing? I've heard so, Stephen. I've heard so. Duran says thanks for the membership, so he's obviously spotted his. Um, right, I think we're nearly there. Capio, sexy buffalo. Right. Okay. Reggae vibes. It's raining in Ohio. Okay. Let me talk about Marley. Okay. Right. We're nearly up to the hour, so a good time to talk about her. So Marley's background, she does a lot of shows. I don't mean she wears like mini skirts and bends over bonnets and things like that. She's actually very professional. Companies here pay her to advertise products. So she'll go on TikTok and she'll talk about, it's mainly kind of mother and baby stuff, prams, toys. She does a lot of exercise equipment, that you'd put into gyms or gyms at home sort of thing, these things you work out at home. And she basically goes on and she presents these kind of things. And she also this week she's working until 8 o'clock every night because she's doing exhibitions. So you have big exhibition hall and they all have stands and they hire people with a microphone to talk about products and stuff. So she does that. So she's professional. Now, when I met her, somebody introduced me, a guy called Thomas, and I said to her, look, well, you don't need to give up all that, but if you want to make a bit of extra cash or you want a bit of fun, I bloody no, so itchy when I got that on. I said, maybe we can do something together. Now, she's self-employed, contracted on a self-employed basis, responsible for our own taxes, stuff like that. So everything's legal, as it were. Now, I had an idea last week. I thought, well, look, come on, it's your very first one, but keep out of range of the camera and people will hear you and they'll wonder what you look like. And I was trying to encourage people to join it for membership, right? I'll be honest about it. And it really backfired, really, because people got annoyed and they were like, well, what's the point in having her in a stream if we can't see her? And then she came into the member stream. That was a lot better because we have a 15-minute break between the regular stream and the member stream. And I was able to brief her, sit down with her and say certain things that I told her. And she was a lot better on the second stream, but she was quite interruptive. So I had a meeting with her last night and we went through it all. And what I basically said to her, I said, look, Marley, the guys who are in the stream, most of the guys and girls as well, most of the people in here are quite mature. And although they like a joke, things like, you're my daddy and all this stuff, it doesn't really cut here. I said, we can joke, but it's a mature audience because of my age. I'm guessing most people who watch are around my age, a bit younger maybe. Everyone's a bit younger than me nowadays. And I just said, look, I'll take the lead. You sit with me. And I said, she was under this impression that she had to keep talking. She thought I'd be angry if she didn't keep talking. She thought if she just sat there. I mean, you could tell she was professional because even when she didn't speak, she was like nodding her head and, like she was hanging on every word, And but a few people got irritated because I'd be halfway through talking about something, she'd jump in, and I couldn't get to finish. And I was like, well, let me finish. And a few people said I could see you getting a bit annoyed, and it wasn't her fault, right? It was my fault because I didn't brief her. So I've had a good meeting with her yesterday, and I've said to her, look, Marley, I'm going to lead. You're going to be in the stream with me. You're a pretty face, so people enjoy seeing you there. And I said, I'm going to do my streams like I normally do them. I said, but I will involve you. But you don't need to be constantly talking all the way through the stream. I'm going to be talking to people. But what I'll do is I'll pick out comments that you can read and you can answer, because people want to know things about Bangkok and Thailand. Now the thing is, she speaks very good English. Somebody left a comment and said she doesn't speak English very well. She actually speaks English very, very well, and she reads English as well. So I said to Marley, I said, look, what I want you for, because all these guys are only used to dealing with the bar girls. Some guys will have serious questions for you. So if you're here, I'll involve you, but I don't want you to take over. So we were going to do a stream tonight, but because there's no alcohol, we couldn't find anywhere to locate to do the stream from, because I don't want her in my apartment for obvious reasons. Okay. Um, and I was out hunting for locations. And like I said to you earlier, it's really hard to find somewhere just to sit down and do a live stream from outside, because there are either bars that are playing out music, a lot of places close, and the only other places that are left are places like Burger King's, where you get all the drunks coming at night and like, hey, he's making a live stream. Look, hello, hello. You know, you know what guys are like. And so we're gonna rethink it. I've got a place lined up now. Funny enough, I thought about it last night, and I went there and I thought, yeah, that's perfect. It's not air conditioned, but it's outside. It's a nice atmosphere. We won't get bothered, and there's a bit of stuff going on, so people can see people walking behind us, and there's stuff going on. We're not like in a static room, right? Now she's been briefed, so we'll go there next Saturday. I'll see how it works out, and I think she'll do okay. I really do. I just think she needs to, like I said, it wasn't her fault. She just needs to hold back a bit, let me take the lead, and then when I needed to come in and talk or read a few comments out, at from time to time, it should work out good. Now the other thing I've decided is I don't want to have her in every single stream, because doing that is going to wear pretty thin very quick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have myself like this, a normal stream, and then I don't know what I'm going to do by myself, because like I said, I'd like to go out. I might do some walk around streams, and I'll have her every other week in a stream now. And then what I'm going to do, we're going to do a test this week, because what I want her to do, I want her to make videos, okay, where she's a presenter. So basically I'll be there, but you won't see me. So she'll come on and she says, hi, it's Marley, and today we're going to do this, and we've got something planned for Wednesday. I don't want to give it away. It's nothing over exciting, but it's just a test video. I've gone out and invested in these really good mics now. I always have a cable hanging. I'm such a dinosaur. Most of the YouTubers here in Thailand, they use the Rode mic. This one is so much better than the Rode mic. I don't know if you can see that. It's a DJI radio mic. That's a charging box there. It's fantastic. Really long range on it. I can put one of these on. Marley can put one. You'll see me wearing it in the video tomorrow about the Serpent. 12,000 baht, which is what, £300, about $350 US. Absolutely fantastic. If you're going to buy a Rode radio mic, this isn't the technical show, but if you're going to buy a Rode microphone, think twice, because the CGI, I've looked at them both, and this is a fantastic bit of kit. Okay, right. I'm into the 21st century now. Right, okay, so that's what's happening with Marley. So look, guys, give her time. I mean, look, nobody is great on their first. I remember my first stream, like I keep saying to you, it was like a police interview. I was shaking. The stream went down. My green screen fell down. No, I didn't have a green screen. I had a bloody. It looked like a tablecloth with a. It was like palm trees and a beach and that, but it was like a tablecloth that just strung up behind me. Um, much more sophisticated now. Let me just have a change of scenery here for a second. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, let's go by the pool. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's get into some comments. I'm gonna go and go back and get some of the older ones there, because I've seen a couple of good ones. Okay, yeah, Pup Master one, I've seen that, very good. Paul Scarth, I think because you hid her in the first stream, it seemed to wind some people up in the comments. Like you say, the member stream worked well, it was a first stream, you were both finding your feet. Yeah, and the other thing is, there are some people who, there's a guy called Martin Watson, I've finally blocked him, okay? He used to come onto this channel all the time and used to leave a lot of nice comments. He was a big fan of the channel. And as soon as I started charging $4.99 for a membership, he got all shitty with me, and every single time I uploaded a video, he left a shitty comment, right? And I never blocked him for a good few weeks. I just wanted to see the crap he comes out with, and people support me. When he leaves a message, they'll not give him shit, right? And today he wrote me another message. I just thought, go away, you know. And he's just one of these guys, you know. He's just a total waster. And you know, a lot of the channels now, you know, a lot of the guys they do have members area. You know, look at LaPhil Pub and what's his name, Nick Dean. He's got a members area. A lot of people do it now. And the other thing people try to use against me, they're like, oh, decent YouTubers don't have a membership. Look at this guy and look at that guy. And I'm like, fine, you know, it's up to them, isn't it? Check Ban. Marley was great. English isn't her first language, and we use is that idioms a lot, and it was her first stream. I'd have been terrified. She has a personality, and I think it will be a great partnership. Well, you know what? She wasn't terrified because she's used to being in front of a camera and a microphone because that's what she does every day of the week. You look at her schedule. I wanted to see when she's free. 30 days. She's booked up for 20 days, right? But she can still do stuff with me at different times of the day. And so that wasn't the problem. The problem was Marley felt like she had to be constantly talking, constantly live in. And to be fair to her, you know, like I said to you, I hadn't briefed her. But let's see, give her time, guys. I'm sure she's going to be a great addition to the channel. A lot of the guys who are moaning are probably the same guys who said, oh, you need to do something different now. Your content's becoming laborious. You've been doing the same thing for 3 years. You need to try something else. You know, I got a guy write to me last week and he listed out all these things I should do on the channel. And I told him straight, and he hasn't written back to me now, so I'm not bothered about that. Um, right, Martin Ryder said, Sifu. I used to sub Archie's channel. He's got strange recently. He used to live in Bangkok. Yeah, he gets a lot. I've noticed from his comments, he gets a lot of shit, doesn't he? For some reason, I don't know him well enough. I only just watched that one video, you know. Um, Paul Hoskin, great impersonation, Peter. Was that the drunks who come into McDonald's? Yeah, absolutely. And I did mention that as well. Booty66 said, yeah, all of that daddy talk and talk about you giving her money was off-putting. It made her seem like a stereotype. I didn't say anything about giving her money, did I? I'm sure I didn't say anything about money, but I didn't like that as well. She said, oh, you're my daddy. I'm going to call you daddy. And all. I mean, that kind of wound me up a little bit. I kept sort of saying, I kept trying to make it look like polite because I was on a live stream saying, oh, don't call me daddy. But afterwards, when we finished, I said, listen, you know, but you got to be careful because you piss people off. What will happen is somebody will poach her one day, right? She'll come on, I'll mold her how I want her. We'll make videos, we'll do live streams. Some other YouTuber who's 10 times bigger than me will see her and just phone her up and say, whatever Peter's paying you, I'll triple it. And she'll go and work with him. You know, it will happen one day, but it's part of the business, isn't it? I'll just have to have somebody lined up for when she eventually goes. And you can't blame her. You know, everybody's out to better themselves, aren't they? Well, I don't know who you're talking about there. Sensu Sifu. A lot of attention-seeking fans of his have infiltrated his inner circle. It seems he now does two a day live streams to make money. Oh, okay, okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Um, Yeah, that was last week, Paul. She was in both live streams, but you didn't see her face on the first one. See, this is what I hate about these air cons. I was sweating and I was messing about with it. Now I'm freezing. It's like being in Iceland with no clothes on. Iceland's a shop in England that sells frozen food. Right, Scott Burney, is the Marley video hidden on the channel? No, it's under the live streams. There's a picture of her on the thumbnail. She's quite attractive actually, and but if you. Uh, uh, Yeah, the thing is, Scott, the first one isn't worth watching because you don't see her face; it's just her voice. But the members stream from last week, she's in it. She's actually sitting with me, and she wasn't bad in the second stream. She wasn't. She was still a lot to, a lot to learn, but she wasn't bad compared to the first one. But I blame myself. Koibo Vic episode, her with friends might be interesting. Yeah. Well, I said to her, have you got any ideas for a video? We're not doing this right now. We're going to do something else on Wednesday because I want to do a normal video just to see how it comes out because I can edit a lot of stuff out. But, you know, I'm not going to be in it at all. She'll have a radio mic on. I'll have the camera and she'll start off and she'll say, hi, it's Marley. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take you here. I'm going to show you this. And it'll be her video. I just want to see how it comes out. But one of the things she suggested, she said, yeah, let's get a massage. And I'm like, what, me? And she's like, yeah, we'll both get one. And I said, well, I can't film us having a massage. You have a massage and I'll film you. And she was like, no, 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 you do it like this. And she was telling me how to hold the camera. So I said, yeah, we'll do that one day. Matthew Anderson, hey, Peter, I'm in Nana now. Could you loan me £100? Not on your Nelly. Right. Mara, Okay. Phil T, always take Phil T, always takes a little time for you both to learn how to bounce off each other. She was great first stream. No, she's fine. She's fine. I know she's going to be great because it's just how we get on. Um, I've told her straight in a nice way. I've said, look, Marley, this is purely professional because sometimes I'll go away with her. I'll take her down to Hua Hin or Pattaya to do some filming, and it really is just for that. And I actually said to Marley, I said, look, one thing you've never got to worry about. I said, this is business. I'm never going to try something with you or, invite you for something personal. I said, it's business and I want to keep it at that. Because once you start, when you find somebody good to work with, once you start getting intimate with that person, eventually that relationship fizzles out and you become to dislike each other. Okay. Or you're so close that people don't do what they're told. Yeah, it's the old thing at work. When you were in the old days, when we had factories in England, you'd have somebody who stood out, a regular worker, and he'd have all his worker friends, and they're all friends together. And then suddenly one of them would be promoted to a supervisor. Well, because they were all his friends, when he was one of them, then he starts treating them like they're still their friends. Well, then what happens is they start taking advantage. They don't start listening to him, and it's the same sort of thing. So I don't. She's very, very good, and I'm lucky to get her because of her language and everything. And I don't want to mess that up, right? If somebody poaches, not if somebody will one day poach her, then I can't do nothing about that. That's out of my control. But what I don't want to do is start, trying to get rumpy pumpy with her. Like let's do a live stream in the room, and then good night, guys. Thank you very much. Get your knickers off. I don't want to get into that. There's plenty of options for that. Right. Okay. Stephen James, see if you can find a local college educated girl. But the problem with a local college educated girl, she's not going to have the right um, she's not going to have the right stance to do a channel like this. This is all channels are different, and mine's got a certain theme to it, hasn't it? And you get a straight college girl, she's not going to fit into the whole thing of. Look, when I hooked up with Marley, I showed her the channel. I said, look, have you got any problems with it? I explained about the thumbnails. I said, look, if I put a thumbnail of a temple, nobody's going to click it. If I put a thumbnail of a girl with her coconuts hanging out, it gets a lot of clicks, and people say it's clickbait, and I suppose it is. And she's like, no, I get it, And she said, if you need me to dress sexy when I'm doing videos, no problem. She said, I know what it's about, because she does that. But when you get a college girl and say, look, can you do a live stream in a bikini next week? She's not going to do it. I'm not saying Marley's going to do it in a bikini, but I'm trying to give you an extreme example. No, what I'll probably do, I'll probably say to her, look, have you got any friends that can stand in when you're not available because she's busy? And then use that as a pretext. And then if something happens to her one day, I've got a few contacts, haven't I? But it's very rare you meet somebody who can read English, who hasn't been formally educated. Well, I say hasn't. I don't know if she has or not. Right, Paul. All I'd say is don't treat her like the Thai girl in the background who just took who just let me start again. All I'd say is don't treat her like the Thai girl in the background who's there just to look pretty. There's YT YouTubers, I think you mean, who do that, and it just comes across as awkward. No, absolutely not. But on the other hand, Paul, I don't want her constantly butting in. So if somebody asks me a serious question, and I'm answering that question, she needs to keep quiet until I've finished. Right. And then if there's another comment, somebody says, hi, Marley, how much would it cost me to go from here to there? I'll say, this one's for you, Marley. Away you go. And she can, and she's not shy. She's great on the mic. She's great in the camera, but she just needs to stand off a bit. Ricky, host a stream from McDonald's and call it a golden stream. Ben Leno, have you ever had a police interview, Peter? Have you ever had a police interview? Have I ever had a police? Oh, I got arrested once. I was locked up for the weekend. It was when I was about 20. No, how old was I now? I think I was 19. I was in town and I went to a disco. Remember them? They're pretty dated. And I came out the disco. I can't remember what time it closed. I was a kid, right? 19. I came out, and in those days, we used to go straight to the kebab shop. You'd be eating a kebab, and it's freezing in England, and the grease. They used to use animal fat, used to run down your fingers, and you'd look at it, and it was white. It was a white line. It'd crack off you. It was so bad for you. But that's what we used to do. And so I was eating my kebab, and somebody come out and started trouble, and a fight broke out. I happened to be there, and I'm not a fighter. I'm not a violent person, but I was there, and I think I gave a few pathetic. I tried to pathetically lash out, and I think I missed every punch. And anyway, the cops came in and arrested a bunch of us, and we all got banged up for the weekend. It was a bank holiday weekend, so we were in there 3 nights. And in those days, it's not like now. In those days, when you got arrested, you couldn't be released until you went in front of the court. So it was called drunk and disorderly. So if you got arrested on a Saturday night, you'd have to stay there Sunday, appear in court Monday. I think we got a £10 fine looking back on it. So in answer to your question, Ben, I haven't had an interview where they've sat me down and put the spotlights in my face and said, "Where were you last night?" because somebody got murdered. None of that, no. But I've had my moments. Just out of interest, Ben, what made you ask that? Have I got a suspicious face? Uh, Check ban. That sounds like me in Burger King. I'm joking, not really. Okay. Was that the impression I was doing there? Alan Fitzy, Ricky. Right, okay, it's quite a serious one. Right, Peter, do you know much about the recent death of the USA YouTuber that lived and died in Bangkok named Leo and Longevity? No, absolutely nothing. I've not even heard about it. I've not even heard about it. There's a lot of strange things go on here. Right, let me just say thanks to Dennis Ballon, $22 there. Thank you for that, Dennis. When I get further down the comments, if I see that, I'll put that up on screen, but I can see you've just done that. Let me welcome Dennis, new member as well, so thank you very much. Kevin Afton, why not stream from a park? The lighting would be a problem. The thing is, they lock the parks up here at 10 o'clock. This is what I'm saying. We've thought of everything, you know. Hotel bars are bloody expensive if you're going to sit there for 3 hours. Parks, you know, you suffer from mosquito bites in parks because a lot of stagnant water and greenery attracts mosquitoes. But, you know, we could get over that. But the thing is, they lock the parks up at 10 o'clock here because if not, people sleep in them and all night. So that's not a possibility, unfortunately. If you can think of somewhere I can do a live stream, please let me know and I'll do it. But you know, bars and clubs and you know, on the street, it's really difficult. People say, "Oh, why don't you sit down on Sukhumvit Road on one of those pop-up bars?" I've tried it. And people just, you know, people just every 2 minutes like kick the table or knock the camera over or, "Oh, I know you." Right. Okay, right. She came here to play Connect 4 with Franks for money. Just left this message on the scammer's latest video. Pay or die. Peter wants his money. A bit strong that one, bit over the top, but thank you. Right, another one. I can't pronounce your name. Is it Sensi Sifu? Thailand bound Peter. Do you have a Ko-fi page with monthly membership tiers where people can join to contribute for those that don't want to join you? No, I tried doing. I tried doing Patreon at the very, very beginning. It didn't really work out for me, you know. No. Capio says, which article we talking? Archie Luxury. Sorry, in and out. Archie Luxury actually made a video about a video I made. You know that I did a 1 hour, nearly 1 hour, because people said, look, why don't you tell us about your life, what happened, and how it all went wrong? And I did a 1 hour like heart to heart, heart to camera. I just sat in front of the camera and I just talked from when I met my wife in 1999, and I took people all the way through, short version, you know, and how it came to be, everything happened and how I ended up living in a caravan for 2 months and you know and then how I got to where I am here right now, very very happy, and he actually made a video about that and it was very positive towards me. um Right, Hugh Jazz says, I don't necessarily think the members perks are worth $5, but I'm happy to pay that much to support the channel. Yeah, and Hugh, absolutely that's what it's about. It's not about what you get for it. Like you say, if you watch the channel all the time, you do get bits and pieces, you know, and it's not like what you get now is you'll never get any more. But yeah, you know, I've joined. I support. Whose channel have I joined? I think I joined Capio's. Yeah, Capio's channel. Not much. I think it was a couple of dollars. And Brian Flowers. The last time I watched Brian Flowers was probably 6 months ago. But I still get a direct debit from YouTube. Google AdWords because I haven't cancelled the membership, and the same with Capio. I haven't cancelled. I'm pretty sure I joined a membership on Capio, really cheap, couple of dollars, I think it was, but I haven't cancelled it. But I haven't watched any of Capio's for ages because of the time difference. So yeah, you're right. It's not about, you know, well, if I pay this much, I'll get that. It's more a case of like, you know, well, okay, I'll support this guy because I like what he does. And yeah, you do get a few perks off it. but some people do complain. Right, here's a supporter, Wayne Ritchie. Hi, Peter, you handsome man. If you think your membership is high, Trevor from Buzzin Patio charges like 9.99. Yeah, I don't think it's high. It's a fiver. But basically, I used to have some silly prices. One of them was about £12.99. And you didn't really get anything. I think I had 3 gold members, you know. But as soon as I've changed this, I had for about 3 years 20 members, right? It was pathetic, really. And as soon as I got rid of those expensive ones, started the member streams and all that sort of thing, I've gone up to probably about 150 members, maybe more, you know. Um, right, okay. What's happening over here? Bear with me. Right, okay. Hugh Jess, is it? Okay, I've just read that out, haven't I? Hurry, hurry up, Harry. The scammer will poach Marley. Well, she's not stupid. Somebody asked for her line ID last week, and that's another story, but I won't get into that. Um, oh, you said no, Booty 66. No, you didn't bring up money. She did. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And one thing that was a little bit annoying. She kept saying, "Oh yeah, join a membership. I'll be there. Join a member." I didn't. I felt it was kind of hard sell. And that's not me, you know. So, but like I say, she was just doing what she thought she had to do. So, she'll be good next time. Right, Capio. Archie Luxury fell out with a lot of people because he was supported by a guy who killed a mother and her son. Okay, I don't know about that. It's getting very deep there. Uh, okay. Mark Pupmaster one says Mark Waynes will nick her. I'm sure Mark Waynes doesn't need take anybody from me. I'm sure he's got plenty of his own good people. He's got his own restaurant now, hasn't he? Right. Okay. Oh, I'll have a beer soon. Mara, Peter, did your girlfriend? Okay. Talk to me about that in the members stream. Okay. I don't know who's watching. Right, Anton Caradan. Yeah, I mean, when we're in the member stream, ask that same question. Okay, I'd like to answer it. Padmaster General, look forward to it. Kevin Afton, it's members only. No strings. Don't dip your pen in the company. I've not heard that saying before. It's quite a good saying. Don't. Yeah. Okay. I understand what it means. Yeah, that's what Bill Clinton said. Alan Fitzy, don't shut on your own doorstep. Martin Ryder, Marley is a confident lady and can't put up with mongers. She gives the impression, you know, she's very touchy, but I'm sure she's not that way. And she is actually single. You know, I was surprised at that. I don't think she's got time for a boyfriend because she's always out working. She works very, very hard. Um, Yeah, No String said her idea of seeing a mature massage doing a massage is a terrible idea. We haven't seen me in her half naked. Right, Mike Braithwaite, who gifted my membership? Thank you so much. I'm truly thankful. That was mentioned earlier. If you go through the comments, you'll find out who that was. Hypocritical Reject. Hey Capio, what's the weather like down under? Capio's in the UK, I think, isn't it? Are you in the UK, Capio? Um, right, Scott. I just watched it from last week and totally agree with your reflections. And with a little coaching, I think she came across much better. She did. I mean, it's amazing from that first one. I know she wasn't actually in the stream, her face, she was just talking. But we had a 15-minute break and I sat down with her and I spoke to her. And the difference between the first one and the second one was already 100%. So give her a few weeks and a bit of practice. I think she's going to be a great addition to the channel. I really do. You know, she's a pretty girl. Who doesn't like a pretty girl? Um, I mean, there's a guy out there on YouTube. He's got a girlfriend. She's in it on every thumbnail near enough, and he's always filming her getting in and out of pools and things like that. And I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but he's got like 400,000 subscribers. He's massive. Um, okay, so I'll just put that up. So again, Dennis, thank you very much for that. Okay, you handsome man there with the shades on, look like you're going off to do a bit of business there, right? No, what that was, Ben, you said because you mentioned that you had a feeling like a police interview. No, what I was saying is, you know, when you do a live stream like now, I find it very, very easy. I'm very relaxed. I can, you know, if I have to turn the aircon down and you have to wait a second, I don't care now. But when you first start, you're really nervous. You know, it is. I mean, you think there's 300 people here. Well, if 300 people have stood in the field and I was up on a box talking to them, you think I could do that? I couldn't. And when you do your first couple of live streams, it is very nerve wracking. And the very first one, you know, I was literally sweating. I was so nervous. And if you see my hands, and I was talking, and I could feel water running down my face, you know, and I had about 100 people in, and then the stream went off, and I had to start it again, and then about 50 more come back, and it was terrible, and it was so bad. I actually deleted it. But the reason I say a police interview, you know, when you see, like on TV, when you see a police interview and he knows he's been caught and he's sweating and he can't get out of it, that kind of look, that's how I felt. Right, Danny Magic, a new name there. To get loads of eyeballs on your channel, do an interview with Tony Huge and Connor Murphy, both in Pattaya. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. Um, yeah, I'll do an interview with anybody. Me, I mean, if they, you know, anybody wants to come on, I'm always looking for people. Ben Lino, oh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be doing quite a good interview on the 25th. I don't know if you remember it, but there was a guy. Um, one of the, because people think I make these stories up, right? But there is actually, they are actually real. I promise you. Now there was a guy who I'm going to interview him, but his story I read out on the channel about a year ago, and what it was, he went on Tinder and he was looking for a Thai girlfriend. He'd been talking to various people in Thailand, girls, okay, and he met this one who took his fancy, and he just thought, well, she's a regular girl, you know, and they did a lot of FaceTime and talking, and he they arranged to meet, okay, and she lived up in Isan Konkan, and this guy flew from Australia, never met her before, thought she's a nice straight girl, and booked into a nice resort up there, arranged to meet her. He met her, thought, wow, she's lovely, you know, nice girl. Anyway, he come out, he had a quick shower, come out. She was sat on the bed, and before anything, she said, "Look, I've got something to tell you. You know, I think I should tell you so you don't hear from anybody else." And he was like, "Yeah, what is it?" She said, "Well, I was a freelancer in Phuket for 8 years." And he was like, "Christ almighty, I've just flown from Australia because I fell in love with you online, and you're telling me you're a freelancer." It was quite difficult for him, as you can imagine. You know, I mean, there was 100 thoughts going through his brain. You know, and you know what a freelancer is, obviously, right? And as it happened, they kind of worked out, and he started to see her, and they've actually been married for 12 years, believe it or not. They're both very, very happy, and I'm interviewing him, not her. I mean, they're here together, but she won't be on camera for obvious reason. But I'm going to be meeting him on the 25th, and I'm going to interview, and I'm going to ask him about, you know, how he felt when he found out she was a freelancer. You know, how has they managed to work it out? Does he ever think about, you know, guys she's been with, that sort of thing? So that'll be an interesting interview. I'm looking forward to doing that. Um, uh, Ken Christopherson, did you get my super chat? No, Ken, I haven't got it. But thank you anyway for the thought. Right, Fat Tony, rooftop by your pulpit. Yeah. Again, Tony, I don't want to like reject everybody's thing, but they lock it at 10 o'clock. You know, it's a great. The pool's great. You know, there's nobody up there. But I've asked them already, and they it's strict. You know, ties when they got the policies. That's it. 10 o'clock they lock it, and the stream starts at 9. So I could do an hour, and then the security would be hanging around looking at me. So that won't work either, unfortunately. Because that'd be a good place to do it. Can you imagine sitting next to the pool and all the Bangkok skyline? Maybe I can slip him a few hundred baht. I don't know. I'll ask the buildings manager. Um, Stream from a parlor. What do you mean a parlor, Martin? That's an old-fashioned English word. A parlor. Come into the parlor and we'll have tea. Parlor? What parlor? Oh, massage parlor. Yeah, obviously massage parlor. You can't. You can go in there and talk for 10 minutes, and this is knock, and this is bun, and this is, and you know, hi, how you doing? You know, after 15 minutes, you're done and dusted, aren't you? The stream's gone for about 3 hours, so we couldn't sit in there for 3 hours, and we'd be just sitting in a smelly massage parlor, wouldn't we? Might as well sit here if we're going to do that. Um, okay. John says, I look at it like this, Peter, £1 a week. Yeah. Okay. Max Fight, will you do a video with your daughters when you come out? No, no, you know, because they'll just become a target. You know that story. You know, I had a guy, right, and not when I was here living in, and I hadn't quite split up from my family. You know, another scumbag who sent letters to my family saying, "Oh, Peter's banging bar girls out here. He's hiding all his money out here. You should go and see his solicitor because he's not going to leave you anything." And I'm okay. My family kind of laughed it off, but you know, the thing is, the last thing I want to do is put them on YouTube, you know, because I'm just opening up their lives to abuse. You know, they're two young girls, 23 and 25, and I just wouldn't do that. You know, I mean, I just wouldn't do it. Wayne Bridge, Archie had a. Okay, I'm not going to get into that because I don't know any of the details of that, so I can't say yes or no. Yeah, he did say something about an awful burglary. He said he lost over 100,000 Australian dollars from his burglary, not insured, never been the same. Well, you wouldn't be, would you? I mean, that's a lot of money. Paul Harrison, cheers, Capio. Easy company. Peter, change your shirt, mate. It's annoying me. Yeah, don't you start. Don't you start. So I'll put the flap down on the camera. Right, check bound. Oh, hang on. One mouse sharing two screens. Right, check bound. Yeah, okay. I'll put that up there so you can read that. I won't read it out. She's beyond. She's better than that, Paul. She wouldn't do it. You know, she is a professional. You know, she makes big bucks. What she does with me is just extra. You know, she wouldn't sit and send out T-shirts. You know, it's just not her. Charlie Stewart, right? No YouTuber has 152 million subs. No, the biggest YouTuber in the world is somebody called. It used to be Tweety Pie. There's another guy now, Mr. Beast. Uh, She's also smart and good and gets the jokes. Yeah, exactly, because her English is good. David, Peter, have you got a photo of Marley, please, for the ones of use was not in the members area? I did show you something last week. Have I deleted it? Yeah, I've deleted it. I had a video of her because I wanted to show everybody what she looked like, and I've deleted it. Uh, she'll be here next week anyway. Um, okay, couple more comments now. Decent watch talk was when Lolex drew Peacock. Okay, right. Franco De Rosa. Okay. Terry Delve, is it true Thai ladies ignore you if you can speak Thai? Not Thai ladies, bar girls, because what happens is just really quick now because we're running out of time. You know, the girls who work in the bars, they want the newbies, the fresh meat, because if they don't know nothing about Thailand, they can scam them. You know, I just started working in the bar today, or I don't go with customers, I just have drinks, or I'm a student, I just come here and help in the evenings, you know, and people believe it, right? But if you speak Thai, these girls think, oh, hang on, he's been around a bit. And they also think he must have a Thai girlfriend or a Thai wife. So if you go into a go-go bar or a beer bar and you speak fluent Thai, they'll normally shy away from you. They won't hang around. You know, most of the guys I know who speak fluent Thai are very good Thai. They just do not speak Thai in the go-go bars because they want to go in and have a good time. Charlie Stewart, right? Have I read that one? Meant to say number one YouTuber has 152 million subs. Okay, one I've just hit 48,000. I'm happy. um, Yeah, Booty 66, do it from the rooftop. Jackie, what was that? I can't read the last name. That scumbag was never really your friend. He's probably the guy who sent the letters to my family. I wouldn't be surprised. Don Deal, stream from Nana Hotel Bar. Every time I've had a drink in there, only a couple of old women hanging around. I don't actually know where the Nana Bar is. You walk in, you got the lobby. I don't know where is the bar. It must be upstairs, is it? Uh, Thomas, there you go. You've sent that photo. I've actually got that photograph, Thomas, but I wanted to show the little video that you sent me last time. But I'm nearly out of time now because I've got 15 minutes to get a beer and what have you. Pupmaster One, do a live stream from Thermi. Yeah, I'd last about 2 minutes, wouldn't I? Scott Bernie, my girlfriend is coming to Australia for 3 months for the first time and maybe interview us when we travel back together. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, I'll just interview you. I'm racing through these now. George Brooks, how about your interview? How about you interview various Thai people with Marley being an entrepreneur to help? Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Actually, good idea. Jared Gigi, I lost 600,000 on stock market, but got it back after 20 years of doing the same and even made a small profit. Oh, well done to you. Not many people get money back like that they've lost. Wayne Bridge, the doc was an interesting character, and Don was always entertaining us with his random purchases. Okay, Citizen Mikey, Irish Dave is getting about 3,000 subs every day. Irish Dave, I don't know who's Irish Dave. Okay, but you know what? At the end of the day, hi Steve, you're in very, very late. I'm just about to shut it down. And if you believe the bar goes, you deserve to be scammed. Yeah, absolutely. Look, just to finish off, what I'll say is this: at the end of the day, I'm not in it to compete with anybody else. We all want to have more subscribers. We all want to have big YouTube channels. But at the end of the day, it might sound corny, but I am very happy with what I've got. If somebody would have told me 3.5, 4 years ago, Peter, when you do a YouTube channel, you're going to have nearly 50,000 subscribers, I'd have said you need to mix more water with it because you're not quite right, but it's happened. I've just hit 48,000, and okay, there's guys out there with 100,000, 200,000, even 400,000, but for me, 40,000 at my age, for what I've done, I feel like I've achieved something, and I'm very, very happy. And good luck to all those guys out there who are up there. I'm not competing with them. I'm happy with what I've got, and I'm just happy that you guys have supported me. And with that, gentlemen, I shall bid you good night, and I hope most of you will be back in 15 minutes time for the members stream, where you can ask me personal questions, which I will answer, and we can basically talk about whatever you want to. Okay, so I will bid you good night, and don't forget tomorrow night. If you'd come in late, I went out and I filmed some of the Serpent locations where they filmed it, where his apartment building is, locations where they use hotels that are still retro. I'm going to release that tomorrow morning to everybody else who isn't a member. Okay, thanks a lot for being in the stream, guys. If you are a member and you're coming in 15 minutes time, look forward to it. Until next week, if you're not a member, you have a good weekend, and catch up with you soon. All I want, all I want.